So we'll start the meeting now.
Sure.
I don't have a copy of the minutes, so we can't go through the minutes and approve them from last month. I didn't see them down in the office.
Can we just do them at the next meeting?
Yes.
Via email?
I think we can do them at the next meeting. I don't know why we can't do them at the next meeting. I don't remember what else I put on the agenda besides putting Betsy down.
Well, Mark had a suggestion, so maybe we should walk and just see what we want.
Okay, I'm just thinking about as far as like the actual meeting part of it before we break for the work session, so we can kind of.
Until you she wants some comments.
Yes. Oh yeah. Would you like to make your public comment, Ann?
Yes. I'm Ann Cantak, and I just was coming to the meeting to say that I am very concerned about the power company spraying toxic chemicals in our power line corridor. And one of the chemicals they're using is glyphosate, which is known to the World Health Organization as a probable carcinogen. Yes, it's Roundup. It's the chemical, one of the chemical ingredients of Roundup. It's listed by the state of California as a carcinogen. And I just don't think we should be using it. I think it's crazy to be spraying our properties and town properties with carcinogens.
Is that for knotweed in particular?
No, they sprayed it for knotweed a couple of years ago, which I also thought was terrible. But now they're spraying it in the corridor where they're cutting, and I don't know all the details. I have tried to contact the people that are doing it. I went to the town office and Julie gave me a letter with the number of the people to call the spraying people, but I can't reach call 2 times.
They're spraying for the electrical
Yes.
contractor. Right.
So it's vegetation control, yes. And I don't know exactly what they're using, but I do know that glyphosate is among the chemicals that they're using. But I'm trying to get more, I wanted to get more information before I came to this meeting, but I couldn't.
Yeah, they present it as if they're like open to you to like, oh, get in touch with us, we'll work with you. Right.
Yeah, if you have any concerns, if you don't want to spray, but yet a lot of people I've talked to aren't even aware that it's happening, and the only way I knew about it was that I get just emails.
Right.
And many people don't, and many people, as you know, are second homeowners who don't get emails and aren't around to prevent them from spraying. So I just wondered if the Conservation Commission had an opinion about it, and if you are opposed to it, do you have any qualifications? I don't know, I'm not even sure it's the town.
Right.
At this
I think-
point, it could be.
Is it the same as
Right away.
the recent e-news that came out about the town spring? That's the same thing we're talking about?
Yes.
Right.
It's the
No,
power company.
but
Yeah,
Right.
right away.
But the town has given
I don't know. I think he sort of accepted maybe
permission.
power.
Well, that's a good question. I went into the town office on Friday to see if I could talk to the selectmen over there, and I didn't realize they closed at 12 on Friday. So I missed, and I spoke to Julie for a few minutes, and she gave me the printout. The map of where they're spraying. Unfortunately, the map that she had was color-coded as to where they're spraying, and she only had a black and white copier. But it is extensive, all along Butternut Road and many other roads.
Also, on Green Hill Road, just today, I noticed that there's been a lot of knotweed around on our
Yeah.
property and up on the road. And I just noticed today that the patch of knotweed that was above our house is not growing back, and it was clearly sprayed, probably in the fall. But that also is about 50 feet from our well.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess buyer beware, but I wasn't sure that they were spraying in the
I
neighborhood.
didn't think they were.
Is that on public or private property?
Public. Well, it's on our property,
The
really.
right of way, so
But
it's
it's,
50-foot right of way.
right, exactly.
Oh, so it's like another power company thing, or
Well, that was the question. It is along a power line, but
Yeah, that particular pit is the town's responsibility, but if they went over 10 feet and up where the power company cut last year, then that would be power company even closer to the well.
they did cut last year, though. So maybe they sprayed last year. I don't know.
So,
I would be curious to know why they're doing it at the, like if you get in touch with them, like why.
exactly, that's exactly, I was
Yeah.
gonna ask exactly what are they using, but I did read someplace in one of the pieces of information that Julie gave me that one of the things is glyphosate. What are they using? why are they doing it?
Yeah.
Where exactly? Because I couldn't really tell from the map. Yeah, it just, and isn't there an alternative that's not personal? I mean, we all know people in town with cancer and neurological diseases, which is also considered by many a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy.
Obviously,
I agree.
you know, reason for doing it, I'm assuming, you know,
Absolutely.
just sending guys out to cut things down every 5 years or whatever, they're going to do about
Did you see where they sprayed a couple of years ago? It killed not they sprayed for knotweed.
Yes.
Like to this
On
day.
the roadside.
It's not only killing the knotweed, it kills everything. And now those patches that were sprayed look brown and ugly.
It's pretty clear
and
where they sprayed.
the knotweed is coming back anyway. So it's just a lose.
I've encouraged everybody via our minutes to pluck the knotweed out of the dead patches as it comes back. Try to keep it dead.
Well, we've been doing this for 20 years on our property, and I have to tell you, they did spray. We gave them permission to spray on our property 2 years ago, and basically decimated the knotweed, except for where they didn't spray.
Yep.
And
It was working in circles.
we were debating, actually, as the email said, asking them if they might spray again, but it's really a bad idea. We won't do it.
I think it's a really bad idea. I mean, I'll send you any information I have. Just saying that, I mean, I was just reading an article today in The Lancet, which is the British Medical Journal, the equivalent of the New England Journal of Medicine, and it was talking about glyphosate, and it was saying it causes DNA, mutations. It's a bad chemical, which I would not want in my water
Or
or.
on the market, you know? Like
But
that's
the thing is
blows my
also,
mind.
Roundup is the #1 selling herbicide in the world, and we probably all have it in our, if you don't eat 100% organic, because
Yeah.
we're probably eating glyphosate residual anyway, but we shouldn't do it, we shouldn't do it if we don't have it.
Additionally, yeah.
So I wonder if we could vote on at least asking the selectmen to, stop the spraying until such time as people have had a chance to.
Because you said
Consider it.
it's July.
July 5th, it
Coming
says
up
it's
really
spring.
quick.
So that
That's when
actually,
the spring, it starts at July.
that's our next meeting, so we should do it now.
But
if
can we
wanna do
recommend
it.
to the selectmen that it not be done?
Yeah.
So ask the selectmen what? Or
Ask the selectmen that
So stop
To halt
spraying
it?
until
Yeah.
town has an opportunity as a whole.
To find out more about it, at the very least.
just look at, just prevent any spraying until it's been considered.
Well, I know actually, our next meeting is July 4th. This is Tuesday.
I'll be not gonna have any July 4th.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that must be the day they're starting. We don't have to the same day.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to go over on Friday to look where they're spraying this and more about it.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go and look tomorrow and see if I can borrow that map and take it to someplace where I can color. Take it to
Put it on the news. That'll get people's attention.
I'm a little confused on the sort of chain of command. Like when I read the e-news and it says they're considering spraying around the July 4th, blah, blah, blah. Where's the chain of command? Who says it's okay to spray? Is the power company asking the town? Or
I
is it
don't
just
know.
assumed that they
Notification.
can do that?
I haven't been looking
Right away.
at on the selectmen's agenda. Like,
Well, I do have a letter in my car.
You must go through
A
somebody,
letter from the
right?
Vegetation Control Inc. I think is the name of it, but I'm not. And it's a letter from them to our selectmen, letting them know they're going to be spraying on behalf of the power company.
Gotcha.
So, but I don't know whether they have to give permission or whether the power company just has the right to do it.
Usually a commercial sprayer has to have notice for exactly the reason that you suggested. It can be a health issue for sensitive people, and they usually have to post it in some form or fashion. And usually that posting, when you're doing it against the whole town, it's the governing body, so they have to notify, they probably have, and that's probably what they've seen, they had to notify the Board of Selectmen.
Oh, they notify the board of selectmen.
And that is both, if it's a town entity, it's the town
That covers it.
that probably covers them legally.
Well, the problem is we're all customers in the nature of the co-op. So the more people who come,
It is a co-op.
So we start with the town and basically let the town know that, we recommend that this be stopped, halted.
Yeah.
So what's a heavy motion that they would
I
like to
would
make?
like to make a motion to ask the selectmen to hold it until we learn more.
Do you want to halt or like have a formal discussion at a select meeting? It's not already
An
scheduled,
informational session that,
So
you
we
know,
want them to stop it so that we can have like a pause. So we
Yeah.
can see what's
to make sure it happens before they do it. Like,
Make sure what happens
there's an
before-
informational session or more information is provided, or we have a say in not letting them use glyphosate.
Goats.
Yes.
You see goats
There you
instead.
go.
Oh my gosh.
Goats.
Goats were,
Yes.
goats. Sheep,
Goat
goats.
sleeping.
And I have to say, I have a small patch. I won't say where because, anyway, that I've been cutting. It's not on my property.
You're not a bad person, Ann.
No. I'm eating it in the spring, right? No. What I'm saying is, when they sprayed 2 years ago, I asked if they would not please not spray and let's get volunteers to cut it, and they agreed. We had a not weed committee. They agreed to let me take a small patch up by George Holland's house to the top of Carter Notch.
That one on the left as you go uphill?
Well, the patch of knotweed is on the left. His house is on the
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
And then I was away for 3 weeks. I came back and I started cutting it, and they had sprayed
I was
it.
gonna say that one
Wow.
was pretty well
Then
sprayed.
I got a second piece, which was at the Maloon Road old dump site that Bobby Thompson said I could use that, experiment on that piece. I cut it 3 times. I went back to cut it the 4th time, and someone had taken a big piece of chain link fencing, threw it on top of the knotweed with a big spray can that said Roundup on it, and there's long holes in the nozzle. It's kind of creepy. I'm not kidding. Yes, it was kind of like, So, my second piece.
Guerrilla warfare.
So then the third piece that I
Weird.
have, I didn't tell anyone where it is, but it's working. Cutting it is working. There's very little knotweed left. But
You cut it early in the spring or does it matter?
I cut it as soon as I see it.
Yeah.
And then I go out, like once a week and just cut it. It doesn't take that long.
What do you do with the stuff you cut?
Then I went to the dump and I asked him if I could throw it in the burn pile, and he said yes. So I dried out for a while. It's dead, and then I put it in the burn pile. So I put it in a big
Wow.
tarp, and it is labor intensive. There's no question about it.
Yeah. But I've seen it work. You basically just mow it back. As soon as you get
They
it.
say don't pull it. I've read don't pull it
Right.
because that just leaves the roots. And anyway. Well, thank you for listening.
Wow.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it up.
The second one.
There was a lot of ors or ands in there. I kind of wrote down maybe what you said. So a motion to ask the selectmen to have an informational session soon regarding the spraying with thoughts either delaying or allowing input onto the chemicals that are happening. Is that
But we want to make sure they stop, that they don't spray when we schedule the spray.
Yeah, you should take out all this paragraph and just say stop.
Yeah.
Stop spraying until we have an
Not spray,
informational session.
That might be
And-
easier said than done.
Prevent the
Exactly,
use of
yeah.
glyphosate.
Make it multiple twice. And
Yeah.
all of the above.
Exactly.
If this, then this.
What's that?
And I think we need to get that map on e-news,
Yeah, I think
so
it's a
everybody
great
can
idea.
see it.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I was Googling it this morning and somehow came up with the same exact letter to the town of Hanover, but on their website they had the map. You pull it so you can see exactly. So I went to our town website and it just said come to the town office and look at the map. Maybe they could put it on
yeah?
Yeah.
the town website.
All right.
And if worse comes to worse, I guess we need to find out if there's a way to opt out, and then just do a program like getting everybody to opt
I
out.
think there is a way to opt out.
Post your land, I wonder?
I'm sorry?
Post your land?
Well,
There's
maybe.
supposed to be a form that the selectmen have, which I actually didn't get in this package today, that you send in if you don't want them to spray your property. So if enough people get that,
Yeah, I think you need to post the property too, because you haven't had good luck in getting hold of them. So I can just see them go, whoops.
Well,
I have no idea what the law is. I assume they have like a legal right to go to the right of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't say they have the legal right to spray with poison.
I have no idea.
You
So
know,
I
in
think
years
that's-
past when the co-op was just mowing through everybody's property for their right-of-way, they did listen when people complained about their apple trees getting docked and their... I know my kids wrote to them because the fork got exposed, and they came back and apologized and brought trees to replant. So it's I don't know who runs the co-op now, but like 5 years ago, they were really cooperative. Cooperative. They were trying to be
They
cooperative.
didn't ask for permission, but they were good at
Right.
They're good at the forgiveness part. Yeah.
But they were really ready for me when I met them at my apple trees because the neighbor down the road had complained about them chopping up his apple trees. So they came to my door and said, "We need to do your apple tree." And I said, "Thank goodness, I'm glad to do the apple tree." But you know, I guess their chain of command got to the guys with the chainsaw. So
And I think,
possibly will work out.
I
Maybe
think
not.
that someone on the board of directors is a Jackson resident now.
Dale Payne is.
Dale Payne.
Yeah.
Big
Is he a Jackson
customer.
Maybe
resident?
one of the Aubreys.
No, it was in Bartlett.
Yeah. One of the
I'd have to look. I thought it was one of the Aubreys.
Well, another thing I heard, this is sort of related, but I don't know if it's 100% true, but a very reliable source told me that the tree in front of the school, the church, the church, the old library, and all those trees on the corner of Thornhill Road were cut without knowledge by the upkeep property. Those are pretty significant. I know, I saw that. Important trees. With purpose.
When I read that news, I was under the impression that this news got out because people were complaining about the tree cutting. And not necessarily didn't know. And so once people started asking about the tree cutting, they also told us about the spray.
Well, the e-news, there was an e-news paragraph just specifically about the spraying. Just to let you know, the spraying is happening. If you have any questions, go to the town hall. Selection hall.
One of my customers was notified about the cutting. So, yeah, but it might have been because it was like their entire front yard. Bobby.
Bobby was there?
Yeah.
She was notified. Oh, okay. Because someone told me that she was not.
She called me. Maybe I saw them there, and I forget how it worked out, but we had a discussion. Unfortunately, I marked all the trees that I didn't want them to cut, and they cut every one of them anyway, which was kind of weird. They gave us this opportunity, and then it was like I was working right through the woods, so I walked out to see how it's going. I was kind of like, oops, I get it. You know,
All right. So Margaret, I believe motion to ask the selectmen to communicate with the co-op to, if possible, delay spraying until the town has an informational session.
Forget the if possible.
and the part about delaying.
Stop the spraying of glyphosate.
Or I think stop the spraying because they might use other chemicals also.
Yeah, I'd just say stop.
So just stop the spraying.
Okay.
And hold an informational session.
And turn off the power.
All right.
If
I'm
they-
agnostic on spraying personally, but I'm willing to go with
If they
whatever.
fight back on it, then we should demand a session to learn more about it. But I would start with no spray.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to like write it because, right, we have to ask that selectmen to talk to the co-op. Like, I don't think we have any authority to do anything. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to write it as what we
So
can
I'd like to
accomplish.
make a motion to ask the selectmen to stop the spraying under the guidelines. Number one.
What if that's not possible? What if they don't have the authority to do that? Can we write it in a way so that we don't have to like remotion or whatever?
Right, right.
Because I kind of believe they don't have that
Into
authority. But
seeing if the selectmen can stop the spraying.
Well, we can just ask him to stop the spraying.
and hold an information session. Great.
How about if you recommend that they stop the spraying until they can determine what the chemicals are and that we've had adequate notice for the community. So,
Hasn't been much notice.
So we recommend stop spraying until recommend a motion to ask the selectmen to all right, I've lost it all now. I've got too many scribbles. Recommend to stop spraying until informational session?
Yeah.
Alright.
conservation as an authority, and they do.
Yes.
So you have power of recommendation of action.
Yeah,
They might say how many people they need to have sign a petition before they can actually stop. Maybe they have all sorts of
Well, we
information.
could recommend they stop spraying because glyphosate is a carcinogenic chemical that, that we don't want in our town.
At
I
the
would
same time,
say
put-
that plainly.
At the same time, we put the plan on and the letter so you can opt out. So everybody in the town has the opportunity to opt out.
Right.
Okay, who's going to summarize that entire thing that we're going to
All
vote
right,
on? All right, but we need to, we want to say it out loud or write it down.
I'd like to make a motion that we, the commission, agree to recommend
To the selectmen that they stop the spraying of glyphosate in town, period, from the power company underneath the power lines.
But there was two other bits though that we were just
Yeah,
talking
stop
about.
spraying of herbicides.
Okay, stop spraying herbicides.
Or do we want to specifically mention that chemical?
I
Well,
would say
I
herbicides
would-
until we know what they are because
Yeah, I would say stop spraying herbicides that are potential carcinogens. And hold an informational session. If they refuse to halt the spraying, then we want to know why they're doing it.
Shouldn't have to explain it. Should be common sense.
I agree.
Does anyone
If you have
second
a
that
comment.
motion?
Second
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Pam's point though, of trying to push it further?
Petition?
Or what was
You
your?
opt out?
So Margaret's recommendation is that they stop spraying herbicides until there's an informational session. Further, Pam recommends that they create a process to see if there's a way for individual homeowners to opt out of it if they
There,
can't.
I know there is because in that letter it says this package includes like a declination letter for individual people, but the package you gave me didn't include it. But I was
Oh, we do a time too.
That's right. So we have
Yeah.
4 weeks away.
But we can do it on two fronts. In other words,
Yeah.
we would make the recommendation and then individually everybody gets out there and basically starts filing all these,
I
you know,
would like
declarations.
to go tomorrow and get a copy of this letter of the form and maybe I can email that to Leslie Shoemaker if it's an written email to someone who will. But even so, like around my house, there's almost no full-time. I'm the only, we are the only.
They get
year-round
e-news. They get e-news. So they
Not everybody
Not
does.
everybody. So I'm just afraid people are going to come back, come up to this weekend and have their trees cut and their properties sprayed.
So we'll have to work on two fronts.
Yes,
You know, that's all we can do.
Yeah.
so our selectmen as our elected leaders, we're asking them to communicate with the co-op to stop the spraying and have them host basically an informational meeting as our leaders. And then maybe we as a group, once we've heard from that informational session of what's getting sprayed, what we're opting out, how to get the forms and how to do that, then we can be kind of the folks that push that.
Good.
Yeah.
Well summarized.
So Margaret's motion. Got a second out there? Second. Ryan seconds. Everybody in favor? It passes.
Oh, we're in favor, but we're not voting.
Yeah. That's I don't know. You can be the public. You're the public. Great. Yes. Any other meeting things before we go play? I don't remember. How many things we did, but I haven't been down there. It's just Jackson Falls. All right. Well, I guess we can adjourn the meeting part to the work session. I motion to adjourn the meeting, go to the work session. All right, all in favor? Great. Great, we're adjourned for the work session.